The Soviet officers searched for a way to hide among the pile of corpses. The Germans fired again and again at the fallen soldiers to make sure no one survived. The Soviet officer managed to escape the gunfire. When the German soldiers finally retreated, he carefully crawled out from the pile. Across the road, inside an old broken building, he saw two enemy officers. One of them was about to take a bath. The Soviet officer picked up a rifle lying beside a corpse. He aimed and was ready to pull the trigger when suddenly a voice came from behind. It turned out he was not the only one who had played dead. Another soldier had also survived. The officer ignored him and still aimed firmly at the enemy officer. He pulled the trigger, but there were no bullets in the rifle. The officer was very disappointed. He thought he could kill the two enemies, but the rifle was empty. The soldier who had also pretended to be dead asked the officer to hand him the gun. Then he loaded 5 bullets from his pocket into the chamber. The officer aimed again, but this time he hesitated. He did not know which enemy to shoot first. He asked the soldier for advice. The soldier suggested waiting until the sound of artillery covered the gunshot. That way, the enemies would not notice. At that moment, the enemy officer began to bathe. He hid behind a wall, showing only part of his head, which made it hard to aim. The officer looked back at the soldier, but the soldier said he could shoot only a little. The officer gave him the rifle. As the soldier adjusted his position, a jeep drove up from across the street. 3 more enemies stepped out. Now the officer and the soldier faced a hard choice. They had only 5 bullets, so every shot had to kill. The soldier studied the enemies with care. He waited for the sound of a shell to explode. When the first blast shook the ground, he fired the first shot. 1 enemy fell dead at once. Before the second man could react, the next bullet hit his forehead. A third enemy sensed danger. He crouched low and crept forward. The soldier fired again. The bullet killed a man who was smoking against the wall. The crouching enemy pulled out a grenade, but the soldier shot him dead with the 4th bullet. The last enemy saw what happened and ran for his life. The soldier stood up. Even as the man ran with all his strength, the soldier aimed steady and shot him in the head. The Soviet officer had just witnessed true art on the battlefield. 5 bullets killed 5 enemies, and every shot struck the head. The soldier had said he could shoot only a little, yet he scored 5 perfect kills. Could you have such aim in a game?